All right, so we've installed this copy of WordPress on the Warntech server. What if we wanted to use it not as a blog, but as something more static, something like a regular website for a company? Now, we could go and hire a professional to put together the HTML and CSS, or we could do it ourselves using the HTML and CSS we have. But, you know, Warntech is this company, and maybe I haven't explained this to you, where we give advice to various celebrities. So, you know, when Steve Colbert decided to show the iPad at the awards, it was us that told him that that was the smart move to make. He was saying he was going to do a Kindle, but he came to us and we had a quick discussion, and we convinced him that the smart move here was to go with the iPad. So those consulting services are a piece of what we do, and we also sell T-shirts and various technologies. We have platinum cases for iPhones and various bling that will allow your Warn technologies to really shine if you want to make sure that you're making an impression. And so we need a site for that. Now, one of the advantages to using a back end for this is that I have a small staff, about 15 people, who need to make edits to this site because we want to make sure it's frequently updated. Now, we don't want a blog because really a blog is so 2004, but we do want to make sure that that our products are updated, that we have new advice if we have a celebrity come in and do a quick promo for us or something. We want to make sure we can have that on there. So we want a site that can be edited on the back end, and we want to pay nothing for it. We want to do it cheap. So let's use WordPress as the CMS for this. Now, a lot of people talk about WordPress as a CMS Lite, and we're going to talk a little bit about what that means. It has all the features that you would expect out of a CMS. It's just that it does it kind of a little bit lighter. It doesn't give you quite the flexibility that you might expect from a full-fledged CMS. But one of the advantages to that is it's easier. Let's take a quick look at the dashboard. Right now, it's got that hello world. It looks very much like a blog. Oops. So let's go ahead and look at the back end and open up the dashboard. We know how to do that. All right, so we've got one post. Actually, I've added 3 pages. Let's take a quick look. About is the page that comes in automatically, and many of you have edited that on your blog. I've added in a new page called Home and a new page called Services. If I look over here, you'll see that I've got, by default, those pages listed here. But really what I want to happen is get rid of the blog, because even though we're using a blogging backend, I don't want to be blogging. It used to be you had to kind of hack at WordPress to get this to work, but enough people were doing that you could now replace the front page with a static page. In many cases, you'll then have and we're going to use Home for our static front page. In many cases, you might still have a blog on the site. So if you're a band, for example, you might decide that you don't want to, that you want to update, you want to have a page updating when your tour dates are, or something like that. But for us, we're actually just not going to bother. All right. So we're going to save those changes. We're also going to change the discussion defaults. Right now, by default, it'll do things like allow for pings, allow for comments. We're going to turn those off. We still, after we turn it off, have to go to the pages themselves. From now on, by default, they will have none. They'll have no allow trackbacks or allow comments. But for ones that we did before we made that change, that might still be there. So I'm going to take those off real quick. All right, and I'm going to update. Let's take a look and see what that does to our front page. All right, so that edit this entry is actually just going to show up to me because I'm logged in as the administrator. I probably don't want it to say comments are closed. I still have this sidebar here. I think one of the things we need to do is just, it has to do just with the look of the site. So I want to bring in a different theme. Now, we've done themes in other ways, I think probably in other courses, but I'm going to download this theme here, the Ashford theme, and I'm going to go back over here and upload it using going to Appearance, and here's the available themes, but I'm going to add new themes, and we can search. We've done that before, but instead I'm going to upload, and we've got it called Ashford. .zip, and we'll go ahead and install now. Okay, so it needs to know a little bit about where we are and how to do FTP. So we're going to tell it that we're at warrentech.com and our username and our password. Once it's uploaded, you can go to available themes, appearances themes, and you'll see that we have a new theme here, and we can activate it. So this is our current theme. So let's go ahead and see what this looks like. Now it's starting to look a little less like a WordPress blog and a little bit more like a regular site. So you'll see that it's giving us some hints here as a user. This is the admin thing up here at the top that lets us do various things. Right now this brings us actually to Ashford to buy stuff, but that's okay. So let's go back to the manage themes. You'll see that we have Ashford options. Lots of themes install their own options. Again, they're giving it to us free, which means they're giving us lots of advertising along the way. We can change our background color, light blue, for example. We can do a background. Right now we don't have a background thing. We can do a page color in addition to the background color. We can do a masthead and repeat it if it's a no repeat. It gives us lots of flexibility here where we don't have to go into the template at all. We can just kind of do little bits and pieces. We actually don't need to display a home tab because we know where the home is. We do want a search box. We aren't going to need RSS, so we don't need the button. Let's go ahead and have drop-down menus, and I'll show you in a little bit. We probably want some breadcrumbs. We've got lots of little bits and pieces here that we can play with. And so it gives us a lot of these things we can do as options. Let's refresh that. So that's not bad. We probably were better off when we just had a dark brown one. That's okay. Or a dark tan one, dark gray one. All right. So so we've got that piece. What if we want to actually sell some things on the site? And as I said, we have some things we want to sell. I guess we're going to have to hire someone to do a shopping cart, right? Well, no, of course not. There's also plugins. So these are two of the structures that are common on all kinds of CMSs. You often have a theming system, so you can add things, layer things on top of the basic structure of WordPress or whatever the basic structure is, and this defines the way it's displayed. You also have some kind of a plugin or module system so that you can add functionality to the site.